This is it, boys. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final chapter before the big 100. Let's get it. And actually, one thing real quick. How come none of y'all corrected me on my numbering system when I was counting down the chapters until the big 100? None of y'all said anything, and I had it incorrect the entire time. Like in my video on chapter 98, I was saying that there was 2 chapters left until chapter 100, but that's completely incorrect. I was thinking like, yeah, there's 2 chapters left, chapter 98 and chapter 99, while I'm doing a post-reaction on chapter 98. And it's just like, and none of y'all said anything, bro. I was looking like a massive idiot. And I've been doing this for like 5 weeks. I started on chapter 95. But hey, if you guys weren't addressing it in the comments, then I guess that means that you didn't have much of a problem with it. Or you were being as dumb as I was. But moving on to not the actual chapter yet, because there's still one last thing that I want to talk about real quick. And this is something that I forgot to bring up in my previous Eden Zero post-reaction video that I wanted to talk about in this video. And that is, was it weird to anybody else that in chapter 98, we got a whole bunch of different colored pictures for so many characters, right? I mean, Lobelia, Rebecca, Hamura, the Shining Stars, and one of the entire crew. But we didn't get a colored page for Drake and Joe. Now, I know he kind of would have seemed a little bit out of place because it was kind of paralleling like a swimsuit edition of like a magazine or something like that. But I really feel like Drake and Joe should have had a colored page, considering the fact that he is like the only remaining character that is super important that we don't have the colors of yet. Like, we have the official colors for the Element 4, characters that were introduced way later than Drake and Joe, but for some reason we still don't have his. Like, I just think that that's really weird, and that character was introduced, what, like a year and a half ago? So I don't know what Hiro Mashima is doing, and I don't know why he's holding off the official colors for Drake and Joe, but if this keeps up, that could quite possibly mean we won't get to know what Drake and Joe's official colors are until the actual anime comes out, which would be so crazy and I think unprecedented. But enough about all that, because I know you guys are probably like,
oh my gosh, just get to the chapter already.
Well, wish granted, because here we go, we're diving into chapter 99, let's get it! Okay, so this chapter started out really surprising, at least to me, because honestly, I didn't expect Drake and Joe to just be outright done. Like, I really thought that this battle between all of them would end at chapter 100. But it didn't. After Shiki knocked him out of that form that he was in, he instantly aged up, and now he's just useless. And now that Drake and Joe is old as hell and completely useless, Weiss decides to capitalize on that opportunity, and he goes up to him and pulls out the Glock. He wants to end this guy here and now because obviously Drake and Joe was responsible not only for his own mother's death, but also the death of countless others. However, with Shiki being the full of hope and optimistic and friend-obsessed person that he is, he tells Weiss not to do it because first off, Drake and Joe was completely defenseless at this point, but second off, Shiki believes that even if somebody had taken the life of somebody that he had cared about, even if he couldn't be friends with them right away, and even though it would be really hard and even though it would take some time, he believes that if that killer reaches out, it's still possible for them to be friends. And then Drake and Joe, being the absolute sick bastard that he is, he reaches his hand out. But it's not to ask for help or ask for a friend. He reaches his hand out and commands Weiss to give him his life. And this scene just perfectly captures how different Drake and Joe and Shiki really are. Drake and Joe extends his hand, mocking Shiki's philosophy by telling Weiss to give him his life. Drake and Joe is all about himself, or at least now he is. He only cares about himself and the survival of himself, while Shiki cares about others, especially his friends. I love this scene because even after facing such a crushing defeat, and even after getting hit with such a powerful speech, Drake and Joe sticks to his roots. He doesn't get turned, he doesn't get talk no jutsu'd into becoming a good guy. He is just so content with being the bad guy, being scum. But on with the story. So Weiss, he's pissed off at this, right? And he fires off 3 shots, but he fires them into the ground because he can't bring himself to kill Drake and Joe. And Sabir explains the reason why he can't do it is because he now knows how precious life really is. Man, Weiss's character development in like these past few chapters has just been insane, bro. You love to see it. But anyways, everybody else then meets up with Shiki and Weiss, and after Shiki sees Rebecca, he starts crying because he remembers her crying face, and then he tells himself yet again, I will never make my friends cry again, ever. And then everybody's just happy and emotional, and that is when Rebecca says something that I assume that she's been wanting to say for a very long time, and that's, we did it, we won. That is just so crazy to me, though. They finally beat Drake and Joe in chapter 99. Moving on, though, the chapter then fast forwards a bit with the crew back on the Eden Zero ship, and this is where they explain to us what happened to Amira, Sabir, Drake and Joe, and all that stuff, right? So Amira took Drake and Joe back to her organization, which is the Interstellar Union Army, which I don't think that was knowledge that we knew before. So Amira works with Justice and all the rest of them. Didn't we all used to think that she worked with Gaia? Or maybe that was just me? Speaking of Justice, bro, when is that dude coming back? I need to see him again. And Elsie too. But back to it. So that's what's happening with Amira and Drake and Joe, but Belial Gore is actually going to be put under investigation, but it also looks like it will just be left as some sort of space colony. So it'll just be out there adrift with the residents living their lives. The chapter then goes over to Weiss, where we see a flashback. And this flashback takes place, I'm assuming right before they left Belial Gore. And in this flashback, Sabir gives a funny comment about the investigation. He's like, oh man, an investigation? Are you kidding me? Everyone here's got skeletons in their closet. But Weiss reassures him by saying, hey, don't worry about it. Amira said she would handle it. Sabir then tells Weiss that he has something to give him, and he pulls out his mother's pendant. Weiss is immediately like, oh, so you did steal it. And then Sabir tells him, no, you gave it to me. After you got your arm cut off by Drake and Joe, I found one of the people in my gang had actually stolen it. But when I went to give it back to you, you told me no, you wouldn't take it. Because you told me it's a reminder of when you didn't trust your friend. And you wanted me to keep on to it until the day that you could finally forgive yourself. The chapter then takes a bit of a sad turn with Sabir just reminiscing in what had happened to that version, or his version of Weiss, after his arm did get cut off. He went to school, he made something of himself, and he stopped hanging around with Sabir and hooligans like him. And it almost seemed like he had forgot all about the pendant. And Sabir actually says that it was kind of lonely without him, and that he was jealous of his new life. But he was proud that he could call Weiss a friend. And in the end, this version, or our version, or the past version, whatever you want to call him, he takes the necklace from Sabir. It's such a cool moment, bro. It's like I said, bro, the amount of character development that Weiss has gone through in these few chapters has been insane. We then get a funny moment with Lobelia just exploring the Eden Zero, and Hamra just like, stop touching stuff, stop going around and doing stuff. And then she opens up one of the doors, and Jin is there with Sylph, and Lobelia is just like, ugh. I didn't actually think that Jin would just be on the Eden Zero. I thought that would be shown. And actually, if I'm remembering correctly, I think somebody in my comment section actually predicted that Jin would be on the Eden Zero ship already. So big ups to you. But now on to the final part of the chapter. Now, it's centered around a particular character that I have no interest in whatsoever. In fact, it's a character that I despise, but the mystery that is unfolding around that particular character is actually really interesting. Because the chapter goes to Rebecca, Shiki, Happy, and Pino, and they're there talking, and Rebecca is like, hey, I wonder why Captain Connor wasn't involved at all in what was going on. And that is when the rest of them are like, Rebecca, who's Captain Connor? Well, this is cool. It's exactly what Hiro Mashima would do, okay? That dude doesn't watch any of my stuff, but I feel like he does, and I feel like he just trolls me. Of course, Hiro Mashima would make chapter 100 completely and solely focused around possibly my most hated character. Bro, this dude just trolls me. Unknowingly, he trolls me. And I said I would do a live reaction to that chapter as well. Oh my gosh. And I know that the 11th Doctor is probably so excited by this. I don't even know if he, like, actually likes Captain Connor or not, or it's just a troll. Either way, he's probably losing his mind. Watch Hiro Mashima go and make Captain Connor like some fourth dimensional being, like the savior of the universe or something like that. Just this all-powerful character. If that happens, I'm dropping Eden Zero. I'm obviously just joking, but watch it happen, bro. Just watch. Watch him become like the Zeno of this series. But like I said, even though the next chapter is going to have to deal with Captain Connor, I enjoyed my time while he was out of the story, I am still so very interested, though. Like, I hate Captain Connor, but golly, bro, what you got going on? But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.